My husband told me I was overreacting when his mom called me a maid, so I served her dinner like one. She didn't expect what came next. I'm not the type to cause a scene, but what happened at dinner last week still has me shaking. I, 27F, married Ethan, 29M, a year ago. His mom never really liked me. Not once. From the day we met, she had this polite but condescending smile, the kind that says, "You'll never be good enough for my son." I tried. God, I tried. I cooked for her, cleaned, hosted her like she was royalty, hoping one day I'd hear a thank you, or even a simple, "You did great." But nope, just judgmental glances and backhanded compliments. But what she said last week, that was the last straw. She showed up for dinner. I had the table set. Everything was perfect. I smiled and said, "Hi, so glad you could make it." She looked right past me, then turned to Ethan and laughed. "Your maid's doing a great job keeping the house tidy." I froze. My smile gone, just like that. I waited. I needed Ethan to speak up, to say something, to defend me. Instead, he smirked and said, "Haha, don't start, Mom." That was it. Like it was just another harmless joke. Like I didn't just get called the help in my own damn house. Later that night, I told him how humiliated I felt, how wrong it was. He rolled his eyes and said, "You're overreacting. That's just how she jokes. Don't be so sensitive." That moment, it flipped a switch inside me. You want to call me the maid? Fine, I'll act like one. But next time she comes for dinner, she'll see exactly what kind of maid I can be. And trust me, she won't be laughing this time. I spent the next few days planning, not screaming, not arguing, not crying, just quietly thinking. If they wanted a maid, I'd give them one, but I'd make damn sure it was unforgettable. That Saturday, I told Ethan to invite his mom again. "Let's do a proper dinner," I said sweetly. He smiled, like everything was fine. I cleaned the whole house, spotless, polished the silverware, ironed the napkins, lit candles. But this time, I didn't dress like myself. I wore a black button-up shirt tucked in neatly, black pants, hair tied back in a bun, no makeup, no jewelry, just a white apron tied at my waist. Exactly like a maid. Ethan looked at me when I walked downstairs and raised an eyebrow. "Babe, what's with the outfit?" I smiled. "Just trying to live up to the role your mom gave me." He scoffed. "You're not serious, right?" I didn't respond. 7 p.m. sharp, she arrived, dressed in her usual pearls and perfume, acting like she was the queen visiting her summer home. She stepped in and froze for a second when she saw me. No hello, no "you look nice," just a long, smug look. I bowed slightly and said, "Welcome, ma'am. May I take your coat?" Her eyes lit up like she won some power game. I took her coat and hung it, then led her to the table like I was staff. She sat. I poured wine. I served bread. Ethan was shifting awkwardly, watching the whole thing unfold like a slow-motion disaster. But he didn't stop me. Not once. The soup was next. I served it with both hands, bowed slightly. Not a word. Just polite, cold service. And then she opened her mouth. "Well," she said smugly, "at least she's finally found her calling." I smiled and replied, "Thank you, ma'am, but I do far more than clean messes. I expose them, too." Her smile faltered, because that was just the beginning. She laughed, awkward, confused, like she wasn't sure if I was joking or about to snap. Ethan cleared his throat. "Can we just eat, please?" I placed the roast chicken in the center of the table, carved it neatly and served everyone one by one. I didn't touch a bite for myself. Then I stood by the side, silently. His mom stared at me. "You're not eating?" I shook my head. "Maids don't eat with guests, ma'am." She smirked. "Well, I must say, this is the most respectful you've ever acted. Maybe marriage has taught you your place." Ethan chuckled under his breath, and that was when I stopped playing. I leaned forward, met her gaze, and said, "You want respect? You insult me in my own house, and now you want me to be silent and obedient?" She raised a hand. "Don't raise your voice. A lady should know. I'm not your maid, and I'm damn sure not your puppet." I turned to Ethan. "And you, sitting there laughing while your mom mocks me? You didn't defend me once." He opened his mouth to speak, but I cut him off. "You said I overreacted, that I needed to toughen up when she called me a maid. Fine, so I became the maid, but what do you call a husband who watches his wife get disrespected and stays silent?" He went pale. "This isn't the time." "Oh, it's exactly the time," I said, voice shaking. I reached into the drawer by the kitchen and pulled out a small black box, slapped it on the table. His mother gasped. "Is that a nanny cam?" I said calmly. "Installed last week, front room, hallway, and, yes, even right here in the kitchen." Ethan's face drained of color. I looked at his mom. "Would you like to hear what you said about me 2 days ago when I wasn't home? Or maybe you'd prefer the part where you told Ethan to put me in my place before I ruin the family name?" She stood up abruptly, knocking her wine over. "You're bluffing." I took out my phone, and I pressed play. The room fell silent, except for the sound of my voice, coming from the speaker. She's lazy, Ethan. You married beneath you. Her parents were nobodies, and now she thinks she's someone just because she puts food on the table? Ethan's mother froze, her voice clear as day. I looked directly at her. Still think I'm overreacting? She looked at Ethan like she expected him to step in, but he didn't. He looked ashamed. Mom, you said that? He asked, voice barely audible. She tried to regain control. She twisted it. You know how these recordings work. She edited it. She wants to divide us. I leaned forward. You said that while standing right here, by the kitchen island. Same flowers, same clock ticking in the background. Want to explain how I edited that? Ethan rubbed his face. Jesus Christ, Mom. She stood up, glaring at me like I had betrayed her. You're turning my son against me. No, I said, calm but firm. You did that yourself. I just gave him the evidence. Then Ethan did something he'd never done before. He looked at me, eyes heavy, and said, I should have stood up for you. I thought I was keeping the peace, but I was just being a coward. I wasn't ready for that. For a second, I didn't know what to say. But his mom? She snapped. You're really siding with her over your own mother? Ethan stood now too. Yes, because my mother wouldn't treat my wife like trash and expect me to smile through it. She grabbed her bag. I'm leaving. This house is cursed. No, I replied. It's finally clean. She stormed out, slamming the door hard enough to rattle the glass. And for the first time in months, silence didn't feel heavy. It felt earned. Ethan didn't speak for a while after his mom left. He just sat at the table, staring at nothing. I sat across from him, hands still trembling, the plate of untouched dinner between us now cold. Then he finally said it. She's always done this, my whole life. If I spoke up, she'd guilt me or cry or threaten to stop talking to me, and I let it happen, even to you. I didn't need to respond yet. I let him unravel piece by piece. You remember our wedding? He asked. I nodded slowly. She wore white. She knew exactly what she was doing. He laughed. Not out of joy, more like someone finally seeing the joke they were stuck in. And I let it slide. I told you not to start drama. I asked you to calm down. That's the kind of husband I've been. He looked up, eyes red. Why did you stay? I swallowed hard. That question, I'd asked it to myself too many times. Because I believed you were worth fighting for. I saw the man you could be, not the son scared of his mother, but the man strong enough to break the cycle. He looked like he was trying to hold back tears. You really think I can be that man? I didn't answer immediately. I got up, walked to him, and placed the apron, the same one I wore to serve dinner like a maid, in his hands. Start by burning this. Then we'll talk. He looked at it like it was a symbol of shame, but also of change. And that's when I knew. The moment wasn't just a win. It was a wake-up call. The next morning, Ethan and I sat on the porch watching the sunrise, something we hadn't done together in months. The apron was gone, burned in the backyard fire pit, not out of anger, but as a symbol that we were done letting someone else write our story. Then his phone rang. It was her. He didn't answer. Instead, he turned it off and set it down beside him. You sure? I asked gently. He nodded. For the first time in my life. Yes, I'm done playing the obedient son at the cost of being a good husband. That day, Ethan sent a message in the family group chat. Respect my wife, or don't expect an invitation next time. She's not the maid. She's my partner. If that's a problem, then I guess we won't be seeing you around. The silence from the group was loud, but not unexpected. And honestly, it felt peaceful. We had dinner that night. Real dinner. Not cold leftovers or some symbolic revenge plate. Just us. Together. Finally equal. And when Ethan raised a toast to new beginnings, I realized something. Sometimes it's not about revenge. It's about drawing a line so clear the people who cross it do so knowing they'll lose you. Was I wrong for standing up that way? Or was that the only language they'd ever understand? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. If you believe everyone deserves respect in their own home,